Good evening. My name's Dermot Kelly, and I'm the author of Perception or Truth. And the reason I wrote this book is because over many years I've done a lot of research, and a lot of people don't understand how I believe everything's connected. So I touch on a lot of subjects, and it hits a raw nerve with a lot of people. But at the end of the day, it's the question: perception or truth. So you work it out for yourself. But tonight I'm going to talk with Tiffany from Texas, and we're going to talk about reverse speech and the direct energy weaponry that people don't know about. So without further ado, good evening, Tiffany. How are you?
Hello, how are you doing? It has been a while, isn't it? So, okay,
Yes.
I have a surprise for Dermot. This is our second take, so he already knows. Y'all won't get to see his surprise look. I'm so disappointed, but it was great. I did a reverse speech analysis that I published about an hour ago to my site of Dermot and Tony's conversation that they had.
Uh-oh.
So now I didn't go through the whole thing, but um, it is similar to the reverse speech that I'm getting from everybody. All right, so let me then explain a little bit. So, God made our brains in two hemispheres, and He made consciousness in at least two directions, maybe more. Okay, so the forward direction is a lot more limited than the reverse direction. But the forward direction, you have free choice, you have free will. So you can lie, you can choose to lie, or you can choose to tell the truth. The reverse direction, that's not the case. So the reverse direction, we learn when we start learning first when we're about 4 months old. So it comes in first when all of the unconscious stuff comes through. So so the other direction, the reverse direction, is our involuntary unconscious direction that is similar to how we have other involuntary systems in our body that we don't have to think about, like our heart beating. And so it is the side of our consciousness that God made that shows up in our speech in the reverse direction. So we can only tell the truth from this side of our consciousness. And the only way that you can control it is what you choose to speak about. So now we start developing it at 4 months of age, and we start actually learning it from our parents as an unconscious, involuntary, biological human system. And it will, like I said, it comments on your forward speech. So if you want to know what your reverse speech has to say about something, all you need to do is talk about it and find the reversals. Now we pick up on our reverse speech um, at a subtle level. It is what causes people's speech to ring either true or false to us. So that's how we pick it up on a subtle level, but you can go in and find it exactly and see what it's talking about. You guys can go to our site and put in ourstillsmallvoice.com right here, ourstillsmallvoice.com, and then choose in the menu or search, just put Dermot in the search. Let's see, and the search is at the top right here. So you go to the top, ourstillsmallvoice.com, and then you put in the search, you can just put Dermot. So I invite everybody to just look through all of this because it looks like a whole lot of the grand deception is what it's looking like. So, but like I said, all truth is good. So we want the truth and nothing but the truth. So Dermot, that's why I think that your book is so
Wow.
important, because it will help get us closer to exactly what is going on.
Well, the reason I called it perception or truth is because, and like I explained at the beginning of the book, if you have 360 people representing the 360 degrees in a circle, and you stood them in a circle, and you played out an event in front of them, then pulled them all aside and said, well, okay, what did you see? What is your truth? And they would have different varying perceptions of what they saw.
That is exactly true, Dermot. But guess
Now,
what? Their reverse speech would say the same thing. all 360.
wow. Now that's
So
an interesting thing.
yeah, because we're missing half of who we are. The reason we have become so misled and so misguided and not knowing what the truth is because our forward consciousness has been left. It's almost like our foot has been nailed to the floor and we're going around in circles because we don't have that other half to guide us. And that comes through in our right side, our reverse speech, our truth speaking side. So when you put them together, what I would suggest is if you filled the world with the knowledge of reverse speech to where it became completely common knowledge, you would no longer have the situation that you described. But the situation that you describe is true.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that the truth is elusive, but when you factor in reverse speech, it's not. Isn't that amazing?
Okay, so let's suppose we've got 3 people on the same degree from, male, female, different cultures, different ages, different experiences in life, different beliefs, and they all look from the same point of view. How is it possible to be 180 degrees away from someone and see exactly the same thing with the same perception? It's virtually impossible. Yes, they see the truth in the middle.
Only in the forward consciousness. In the reverse speech, because like I said, your reverse speech, Tony's reverse speech, whether they're good guys or bad guys, doesn't matter. Their reverse speech is coming through and it describes the exact same thing over and over and over and over again.
Wow. Okay, so, and I'm going to play devil's advocate because I know there's going to be people out there that are going to say, okay, I don't believe that. And I'll say, well, okay, that's your perception. So let's say someone says, I don't believe that, maybe, and it is just a maybe because who knows what's the truth. But is it possible that reverse speech itself is manipulated by the AI as well as the truth?
Well, the answer to your question is you go back and look. You go back and look at the reverse speech record, what has played out, and you go look at it and compare it. And
right.
Did it happen? Is that what happened? Is it describing what happened? Then if it does that in the past, then we can pretty much say that it's not being. Now, dreams have to be checked with reverse speech because they're already able to beam in EMF dreams. So you have to make sure that it is a natural dream and all of that and that kind of stuff, because dreaming has been somewhat compromised. Isn't that sad? That's why we've got to really jump on the bandwagon, find what's really going on, and batten down the hatches here.
And how do you explain the astral travel and people's experiences in that? Because as I've written before in my original book, Weird, how I believed that I was doing certain things in a dream state. And the reason I believed that it was astral travel and not a dream as such is that in the astral travel, I could smell, I could taste, I could touch, and I could actually control the situation. Whereas in a dream state, you're viewing it as a third person reality.
Well, I would question and say, were they doing remote experimentation on you at that time, or was it natural? Okay. And then what I would do is go and look at your own reverse speech on that. All of this stuff, whatever question you have, I may not have the answer to it, but I can go listen to what your better half says about it.
Yes.
And what your better half says about it is going to be everybody's going to say the same thing. We don't disagree on that side of who we are, it seems. Now, so we have different opinions and we have different perspectives in as far as what is supported, it's always going to be balance. And they always encourage a benevolent balance of flowing, just like it's surfing. There's a whole lot of flowing and surfing in reverse speech. That's where you want to be. So, we just talk. If I don't know the answer, I can listen to people's speech about it and start listening to their better halves. And where this is coming from, oh my gosh, they are our better halves. That is a very wide perspective. You'll have stuff coming through the subconscious that will tell you, okay, here are your beliefs about that. Or you'll have the collective consciousness coming through, and you'll have higher consciousness coming through. It is just an amazing side of who we are that I have great respect for. And I can't wait for it to be known worldwide. So I have a lot of gratitude to you, Dermot, for putting it in your books and exploring it.
As long as we're all collaborating and communicating, then we're going to get there eventually. So
yes, sir. Absolutely.
And that would lead in now perfectly to the other side of the chapter, which is the direct energy weaponry and what they're using that for.
Yeah, same thing, same bloody agenda. Human non-experimentation in the direction of control and of control of humanity, and toward this transhuman agenda to forcefully install a technocracy. Did you want to take us out and give a conclusion?
Yes, I think I'd better. Okay, so what I'll do now is just thank Tiffany for giving us an insight into reverse speech and the direct energy weaponry that's being used, and the AI that is it out there. Look, there's always going to be someone questioning what it is, why it works, what's the truth, what's perception. Let's just stop arguing with one another and let's just put all our eggs in the one basket and try to work out what's going on. Okay. So on that note, I'd like to say thank you, Tiffany. It's been a great interview, and I wish you well in editing all this, because I don't have the ability to do that just yet. So, right. But thank you very much indeed, and thank you all for watching. Goodbye for now.
Thank you, Dermot. Bye-bye.